right. My apologies for being late, but we are now officially live, and I will give it a few minutes to see if some people can make it in. So if you're in the chat, please say hello. Hello, Mr. Pritchard. How are you? Hope things are going okay. I know that you popped in on the chat late in the Google Meet yesterday, so don't worry, it's all good. Morning, Abby. Sorry I'm late. Good morning, Arwen. Might notice that the background is a little different behind me. I am currently sitting in at the desk that my wife typically uses. She's a psychologist. We got the artwork of our children behind us. Mr. Begg, I apologize that I'm late. I had to have a meeting with the vice principal about a thing, so I'm a little bit delayed. Oh, the plump Yoshi has arrived. I see Mr. McIntyre is here. So I hope everybody is doing okay and everybody's feeling very able and active, and I've been getting a few rough drafts of things this morning to offer some feedback on, some slideshows. So I'm going to spend this morning going over two things. One is just to go over the second part of the short story assignment. You just got Mario Kart. Which Mario Kart? For the Switch? Oh, well, I'm actually in the space, Cameron. I mean, if I turn this computer around, right? I'm sitting in the video arcade. But my wife's workspace is in the back. So the Holy Grail. Yeah, there's only about 15,000 video games or whatever on the other side there. So anyways, so the two things that I'm going to be talking about today are the second part of the short story assignment. If you're in the college pathway, it's something that needs to be on your radar. But I'm also going to go over the expectations of the PowerPoint for the ISU, which everybody, regardless of pathway, is being asked to do. Just because on the few drafts that I've seen so far, there have been a few pieces that have been missing. And so I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with that. All right, so a quick sip of coffee and we'll dive in. Okay. All right, so turning the chat off for a second, popping over to the Google Classroom. If I do a quick hop up here into the grandfather traits, I know it says essay. I should probably change this to essay and PowerPoint and hit save. Okay. So if you're looking for things about citations and stuff like that, don't forget that the guide is here as well. But for the actual ISU itself, if you scroll down here, and if you recall, part 5, we've eliminated because of the fact that doing oral presentations in a distance learning situation doesn't seem to be all that viable or useful a period of time, because you're going to be just using up days and days and days doing that. But instead, if we look at step 4 here, this step 4 is assigned to all members of the class, regardless of it, whether or not you're college or workplace. And so it says, in order to complete your independent study unit, you will make a presentation on your selected individual and their worldview. It says in front of the class, but we've chopped that part out. I'm mainly interested in you either changing your essay over into a PowerPoint if you're in the college stream, or consolidating your research that you've done into a PowerPoint if you're in the college, in the workplace pathway. Okay, so here are the required components: an audio-visual presentation, PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi, posters, Canva you can use as well. They're all very good. Should be 3 to 5 minutes in length. That doesn't necessarily mean that each slide would be a minute. Okay, so you're probably looking at somewhere between, I'd say, 6 to 7 to 8 slides if you're going to hit that magic number. Use information, include information used in your essay. However, you want to avoid reading your essay to the class. And so the examples that I've seen that are fairly strong, spend some time doing some biographical information, do some time talking about accomplishments and so on. And then the parts that are missing is having a slide about the grandfather traits, and then talking about which traits you feel this person has and how their actions put it out there. So rather than just copying parts of your essay into those slides, just make sure that those slides are there sort of after the biographical information. So you can even do a slide explaining what the grandfather traits are if you so wish, or you can make the assumption that I understand what those are, and you can just outline what it is. And you could also do an individual slide on each trait if you so wish, right? If you want to sort of stretch it out a little bit. Now, this is the part that I found that I haven't seen yet in any of the drafts that are there, right? Argue and explain which prestigious award you would nominate your individual for based on their traits and attributes. Some examples of prestigious awards are Nobel Prize, Pulitzer Prize, Golden Globe, I'm guessing what GG is, Academy Award, Gemini Award, Introduction to a Hall of Fame, Introduction to the Walk of Fame, MVP awards, and league trophies. There's a wide variety of humanitarian specific or scientific, political, and athletic awards, so this may require some research. Okay, so make sure that you explain why, through their actions and through the traits that they exhibit, that they might be able to do something. Now, if you're doing, Carey Price, and you say he should win the Vezina Trophy as the best goalie or the MVP, I mean, he's already done that kind of stuff already. I want you to think outside the box. I want you to get a little bit more creative, go into a little bit more depth. Okay, so think about what it is to be, a Nobel Prize winner for, world peace, or to be a Pulitzer Prize winner for some type of literature, or whatever it happens to be. Just make sure that it's realistic, right? Like, don't say that, Jordan Tutu should win a Grammy Award for music when he's not known as a musician, right? Like, keep it in the realm of reality. Okay? So this, again, I've gotten some drafts already on this, so keep those coming in as best you can. Okay? So take a quick pause. Any questions about the PowerPoint presentation and the expectations of it before I continue? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move on to the other part of the day, which is, if I scroll down, it's What You Pawn I Will Redeem Part 2. Okay, so Part 1 is obviously right up here with the audio file right here. So if you haven't yet done so, again, I will remind you, right, that if you just click on it, you may get an error that says it can't be loaded. It might not. Whoa, sorry, Miss Newton. If you're having any errors, make sure to go up here and open it in a new window. That will hopefully cause it to play within your browser. If you're still having problems, download it to your desktop and try playing it that way. Okay. And you have your worksheet here for part one, which I went over yesterday. If you have any questions about how to complete it, part one is a requirement of all students, workplace or college. Okay. But part two, I'm speaking only to the students in the college course. Okay. So it says part two of What You Pawn I Will Redeem by Sherman Alexie. So give some of Jackson's actions seem self-destructive and have cultural explanations. Give two examples. What else might explain some of Jackson's controversial or self-destructive actions? Again, thinking back when we watched First Contact, the show, that should inform, hopefully some of those things around trauma and so on, okay? How has Jackson changed over the course of the story? And then this story is an example of a quest like Lord of the Rings, The Hunger Games, or Indiana Jones. Most have several common elements. Identify them in this story. And you've got a little chart to fill out. Okay, and again, just a little phrase or word to help guide so that I understand what your thinking is. And then why does a quest story make a good teaching story in your opinion? Okay, so most of these answers are looking at a sentence, two sentences. Number 5 might require a few more than 2, but we're not looking for big flowing paragraphs. Show me that you're able to listen only to a story, because I have not provided you with a written one. Show me that your listening skills are there so that you can go and pull this together. And if you need to rewind the story to miss a timestamp for part one, take the time and go and do it. Okay, it's not meant to be like a test. It's meant to be a showing of your determination, your critical listening skills. And part of being a critical listener is sometimes you need to rewind the clock and go back and say, sorry, I didn't understand that, or I need to have you say that again. If it was me, you would ask me to repeat myself, but you've got an MP3 that you can just do it, as you will. So spend the time and do it. Okay. As a final heads up for tomorrow, we're going to be talking about murdered and missing Indigenous women. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. Okay. We do have some video files here that are a bit on the longer side. Okay. So if you have some time to spend to get ahead on this kind of stuff, there isn't going to be a huge amount of writing or work that is associated with this. It is more about making yourself complete as a Canadian and understanding what exactly is going on in our country. Okay, we're going to read through some of the articles together. We're going to talk about it. But most importantly, it's about giving these people the dignity and understanding that there's a problem in our country and that we care about trying to make it better. Okay? So that's coming tomorrow. And then Friday, we're all done. So, hopefully, good morning, Abby. So hopefully everybody feels as if they can see the finish line, they can get over the line, that there isn't some sort of huge barrier in the way. If there are barriers that are popping up, then just get in touch with me. Those of you who are in the chat right now where you've identified a problem and you've reached out to me, most of the time I'm very agreeable to like coming up with creative solutions. So if you're staring down that Friday deadline and going, oh, I don't know what's going on, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it, you need to have a conversation with me because there are mechanisms and ways that we can work things out. Okay. But if I'm not hearing any feedback from you, then I can't read your mind. So please, please, please get in touch. Okay. So I'm going to keep it short because I showed up late, but that's the goals for today. Get that PowerPoint going. Get part 2 of the short story done and part 1 if you haven't finished it yet. Maybe start watching some of those videos on the murdered and missing Indigenous women that's coming tomorrow. But overall, keep at it. Keep the messages coming. I'll be around at 1:30 along with Mr. Begg in case anybody needs any drop-in and support. You can predictably find us at that time. But overall, have a good day. And I'm going to give my seat back to my lovely wife, who I'm sure would not want me to wreck anything of hers. Okay? So other than that, I'll say bye. Cameron, if you have anything that you wish me to go and collect from the video arcade and show on camera, now would be the perfect time. Any questions, please put them in the chat. Abby, Malcolm, the work that's been coming in has been really good. I'm really happy. All right, seeing no questions, I am going to end the stream for now. I hope you all have a very nice day. Please reach out on NBE anytime. Okay? Take care, everyone.